Hi everyone, Charles C. here. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today we're going to talk about Google Dorking. I'm going to try to give you all a few beginner's example for Google Dorking. I'm going to try to keep this video short and simple, and eventually we will make I'll make a Google Advanced Dorking or Google Dorking Advanced, however you want to take it, video as well. So this way it can help you out in your bug bounty journey or your security research point, looking for misconfigurations, confidential data, vulnerabilities within your organization, whatever the case may be. We'll talk a bit about that towards the end of the video, but let's go ahead and let's get started. So what is Google Dorking? So to simply put it, it's basically your normal search query mixed in with Google's search operators. It's Google on steroids, right? So you use Google Dork to get better results from your Google search. We're saying a lot of the word Google right now. But if you're wondering what I mean by search operators, well, the way I take it as a filtering. Honestly, kind of like show and search. You use these operators or to say filters to tell Google what you're looking for specific. Just like in Shodan, you would use special queries to narrow your searches to gather information as accurately as possible. You're pretty much doing the same thing with Google. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some common and simple Google Dorks. And what I will show you right now, it's going to be only the basics. So if you already have experience in Google Dorks, you know what it is already, you understand some of the filters or the dorks that I'm about to talk about, this video is absolutely not for you. Do not waste your time. Even as a refresher, I'm pretty sure you'll know all these three. You can watch the video to give me, help me with the YouTube algorithm, but honestly, it is for a complete beginner. I will make an advanced portion of Google Dorks for like bug bounty or any sort of researches coming soon, right? But let's go ahead and let's get started. So we're going to start off with the word just Facebook. We'll use Facebook as an example for this video. Now, I'm going to type the word in Facebook in Google, and it will give us results that has the word Facebook in it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is coming from the Facebook page at all. What it means is that the word Facebook, anywhere that it's found, that's what's showing up. If we scroll down, Twitter has the word Facebook, right? We have some news about Facebook. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's from the Facebook page. We even have Facebook apps on Google, iOS. We have the Wikipedia for Facebook. You get the point, right? Now, what we can do is that we want to see just a result off of Facebook.com. Only what Facebook is actually outputting for us. That's what we want to see. So what we'll do is we'll use one of the Google Dorks. We'll use a query. I'll call it query. Sometimes I'll call it Google Dorks. Whatever the case may be. Just understand whenever I say query, I mean dork. But we're going to do a query that'll give us every result just from Facebook.com. If we scroll up just before doing that, we have about 18 million search results. That's what we're getting just by the word Facebook. Now the dork here that we're going to use is going to be called site. We have right now, if you can see it, it says site facebook.com. So we're using this filter to crawl search results from that website and that website only from facebook.com. We don't want it from a different site. We don't want it from like a news media, whatever the case may be. We don't want it from those. We just want it from facebook.com. So what we did is we used the word site in the beginning, followed by the word Facebook, because that's what we're looking for, and then .com. That's the domain, right? And that's what we're looking for. Now, if we scroll, we have developers.facebook.com, business.facebook.com, transparency.facebook.com, pay.facebook.com. We're getting these things and many more. Everything is from Facebook. If you keep scrolling down, that's all we're going to get. It'll be the same thing. It's just going to be off of facebook.com. It shouldn't be off of anything else. If it is, you do have to look, but honestly, I haven't seen anything like that. But yes, so we're just crawling the search results from that website only. Now, before we get a little bit further to our next part of how we can further down our dorks, I do want to mention that when I use Google Dorks for certain information, I do use double quotes. I can use it on most of my searches, might not even use it for some of my searches. It all depends. I don't use it for site dork. It's a one-liner. So for me, sometimes if it's one-liner, I won't truly use quotes or double quotes in that case. But if there's like a space or special characters that I don't want it to mess up my searches, then I'll probably use the double quotes just to get it as accurate as possible. So we went from millions to hundreds of thousands of search results. We narrowed it down quite a bit. Now we can do in title. So what I mean by that is that I use in title transparency for this, right? It's going to look for the word transparency into the title itself in Facebook. You can see The title is what you see when you do a search on anything, normal search or anything like that at all. And that's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see things about transparency that's coming from just Facebook.com. So this video right here is from Facebook. Both of them are. But not just that, the video also has the word transparency in its title. Just like how I said in its title, that's literally what the Dorking keyword is, in title. So you're looking for things that's in the title. I know you said it multiple times, but I'm hoping it makes sense, right? All right, so that's technically what in title means. It's gonna be from Facebook.com, the word transparency in its title, and that's all it's going to look for. And every search that you look for, you can see transparency in its title. We can go to multiple other pages, but I'm hoping this gives you the idea. Last part of this part for this example is going to be in URL. Just like how we talked about in title, it's going to be in URL. The way I use this one is in URL login. What does that mean? We know that in title means that anything that the keyword that's in its in the page's title. This means anything in the URL of the website. So we use the word login, in URL login. If you look at the login, I mean not the login, sorry. If you look at the URL, the short query right at the top, it has the word login in it. So that's what we're looking for. In URL means that it's going to be in the URL that you type in right here. So in this case, it's kind of like, I'm looking for Facebook.com, but I'm looking for like login information. Not necessarily mean that you can log in freely, but it means that it's going to give you a login page. You can use that further to do any sort of vulnerability testing, bug bounty hunting, whatever the case may be. But you find that login page by using this in URL query or the dork. And that's what it means. Everything that search is going to do now is going to be based off of Facebook.com, and it's going to be based off of in URL login. So anything, login right here, Facebook login, the word is there. Another login right here. Another login right here. This is mobilefacebook.com. We can even make this into a smaller search even. That's what we have, the results. We went from, let's see, what were we at? 500,000, I think it was last search, to 97,000 results. So, in conclusion, why do we use Google Dorks? Well, Google Dorking really helps us when it comes to, what we're looking for. It helps us get an accurate search result. It helps us boil down to, what we're looking for, narrowing down our searches. You can actually use it during bug bounty recon phase. It can help you discover valuable information with the right dorking. It all depends, how you're using it, for good or evil. Using it for good, I would say, bug bounty, vulnerability management, researchers, anyone that, wants to get a strong hold and make sure that they're not leaking anything or revealing anything online. This comes in very handy. Google Dorking can often reveal forgotten PDFs, documents, and sites, pages that aren't public facing but are still live and accessible. And if you know how to search for it, it can help you, mitigate those issues. Sometimes, not vulnerable, I want to say sometimes you can have a leak of sensitive data that you might have forgotten about. But, that's just something to, take into consideration. It definitely is a search technique that helps, not just bug bounty hunters, vulnerability responders, or the researchers. It also enables hackers to gain access to information that corporations and individuals did not intend to make it publicly available. And using these techniques, hackers are able to identify vulnerable systems. And sometimes they can even recover usernames, password, email addresses, and even credit card details, like PII information. So you have to be very careful. So stay tuned. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Honestly, like I said before, this is strictly a beginner's guide to Google Dorking. And just a heads up, I will also work on creating an advanced Google Dorking video as well. So stay tuned for that. Until then, see you all.